Is a panel discussion on Let Us Get Ready and Play for the World. Our moderator for this discussion. May join us, Mr. Rajesh Nath, MD, VDMA.
First of all, I would like to invite Mr. Santosh Kulkarni, Vice President Materials, Polymer and Elastomer, Bajaj Auto. Friends, next I would like to invite Mr. Shin, Jung, Managing Director, YEONG Private Limited. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Bapugouda Patil, General Manager, Division Head, Purchase Division, Toyota Kirloskar Motor Private Limited. Friends, and now I would like to invite Mr. V Sudarshan, Deputy Managing Director, NTTF. Before we begin the panel discussion, a request to our panelists. Please keep your replies short and crisp so that we finish well on time, and maybe we try to cover some of the time that has got exceeded. So friends, you've heard a lot about the manufacturing industry in India, India becoming a hub for the manufacturing industry, and rightly so. In fact, in India, the business conditions have now strengthened in the past 25 months. So it's a good run we've been having after the pandemic for 25 months, with the manufacturing sector having maintained a strong growth momentum. In fact, even the start of the third quarter, we've had a good momentum of the manufacturing industry. Now, of course, manufacturing industry is so important for our country. It is also one of the biggest job multiplier in the economy and contributes 18% share in the gross value at GVA. Now, demand is expected to remain elevated over the coming years, supporting projections of production growth overall. We are in the cusp of India's decade, as we've heard also from many speakers, and now we are ready to play on the global platform. So friends, that's our topic for today. Let us get ready and play for the world, and let's see how we can cater to the global demands and how our manufacturers here are looking at India, making India global. So that's what we would like to call upon the experience of our panelists. And with that, my first question to Mr. Kulkarni. Mr. Kulkarni, can you share your examples of how your company has collaborated with the tool makers to meet the global demand? Certainly, you are catering to the global market. So how is this being covered from your side?
Hello, it's fine. Yeah. Yes. So good morning to everyone, and thanks for having us on this wonderful International Tooling Summit. And it's actually been a privilege to be on this panel discussion. So as Mr. Nath was very correctly mentioning that the stage is the world stage now. It is no longer restricted to geographies. It is no longer restricted to countries. It is one product which is made for the global market. Yeah. So one of the things that is very important for any customer, whether it is an Indian customer or whether it is an international customer, the three primary things which are important is the quality, cost, and delivery. That's of primary importance. Now the definitions of quality, cost, delivery will vary depending on the context of industry that we are talking about, whether it is automotive or whether it is electronic industry or aerospace. They have their own definitions of what they would expect on the QCD parameters. But having said that, our discussion is more about how we as a global company is working with our vendors to address this. So it is very important for any OE to take up the responsibility of exactly defining what is the expectation on the QCD parameters. And it is not only important to define, but it is important to handhold all the vendor partners who are joining them with the manufacturing processes, inculcate all those values which are required for responsible manufacturing. Apart from that, what is important is you have to define very clearly what are the guidelines, what are the standards which are required in order to match to a global expectation level. Now, it is absolutely imperative that all of us, not only as an OE, but also all our vendor partners, we have to simplify and standardize all the processes. So whether it is a business process or whether it is a manufacturing process or in any physical process, it has to be standardized, it has to be simplified so that it can be implemented across all the vendor base. Now we at Bajaj Auto, we have taken a cluster and a sub-cluster approach. So we've got a lot of group of similar manufacturing commodity vendors together in order to form a sub-cluster of these processes. And in doing so, we've taken the methodology is to identify all the best practices across different manufacturing vendors, come on the same platform, share these, collaborate with them, help them to standardize across all the vendors so that you don't have variability between two manufacturing setups. So that's a very important thing. What we have also done is that we have collaborated with them in order to transform them from only a capable or reliable vendor to a competent and an agile one, right? So it's very important to become competent and agile so that your delivery across vendor or your customers is impeccable. So these are some of the things that we have taken with all our vendors, whether they are from the serial manufacturing components or from the the tooling industry. So now, just giving an example of standardization. So for a tool maker, what is important is that to know what are the standards to which they have to design the tool, what are the deliverables which are expected in terms of the life of the tool. So here also the standardization is required in terms of the design standards, it's required for the manufacturing standards, all the ingredients which go onto the tool, whether it is a steel. We've got different raw materials, right from glass, 50% glass filled materials to commodity plastics. So what type of steel is to be used? What is the selection procedure for finalizing the hot runner systems, feed systems? All this is something which has to be standardized. And so once that is standardized, then the chances that your RFT is not 100% are very, very less, right? So the time to market is extremely important. So it helps us to optimize our lead times. It helps to optimize the cost. We've in fact even gone up to making common service providers. So we can use this common resources, so everybody doesn't need to invest in all the resources like white light scanning or mold flow simulation software, so on and so forth. So as a result of all this, we have been able to deliver impeccable products because we export to more than 70 countries and we have to compete with best of the global players like maybe Harley Davidson. Triumph now is in fact a part of our own product stream. So we even say that we don't want to compete with Triumph, but likes of Ducati and all. So all these tool makers and all the hand-holding that we've done together has helped us to eventually overcome all these challenges. And international media is in fact congratulated us to achieve all the fit and finishes which are required in the global scene.
Absolutely. I think you touched upon some very important points: agility, competitiveness, and hand-holding. Of course, setting the standards for the tool makers. And I think that passes well now if we go to Mr. Shin. Mr. Shin, could you share your journey? You've started operations in India, so we wanted to hear your journey of establishing operations in India as a tool maker, Mr. Shin.
Okay. Nice to meet you. This is Shin from YEONG. And then we are Korean-based tool room. And then we are the only one die casting tooling company in here, India, till today. In Chennai, around 4 to 5 Korean tool room is available, but other 4 are only injection side supplying. But we are specially established the company in here, Chennai, for supporting one particular customer Korean companies, DL Enterprises. DL Enterprises is the Hyundai Motors cylinder head, cylinder block suppliers by the Swedish process. And then they are only single source to Hyundai and Kia Motors. And then we, YEONG Korea, and then DL Enterprises work with around 30 years experience. So my customers requested to us come together in India. So YEONG is a Korean tool, but 2004 we already established company in China, YEONG. So we thought that already we have experience of the global tool rooms, not only Korea, also in China. So in China, it's not just the small tool rooms, around 200 people are working in theirs. They made more than turnover compared than Korea. So we have a lot of confidence to come to India, but it was not easily like that. Okay, so first time we came here, Chennai, and then we started the service tool room, small setups to support the customers. But actually, 3 Koreans came here in first times, myself and then 2 technicians. But initial stage, our 3 persons wages staying cost is higher than total turnover. But my president couldn't stop investment in here. He continuously investing the facilities, land purchasing, and then building new factories, expansion of the facility continues the last 10 years. So now we are supplying to not only DR enterprises, we are supplying to a lot of our customers. Daesung, Ricoh, Keparo, Endurance, Samsung Electric, Hinduja Foundry, Bharat Forge, and then also we are exporting to our mold to USA, and then Russia and Iran, from here make in India. But initial stage we didn't know India corporate cultures. It's not like China, Japan, and Korea, but there are very much difference. We doesn't know about these people's mind, corporate cultures, and then company act, company law. So last 10 years, we continuous work with Indian customers. Actually, our 70% of customers are Indian casting companies. So we learn from them a lot of things, Indian cultures, Indian mind, their techno-economic toolings necessaries. So we continue to try to localization in here India, try to reduce the cost, not only the technologies. Sometimes we compromise technology, sometimes we compromise the metal to reduce the cost. So we tried a lot of things, and then it successfully supplying to the toolings to India market. Yeah.
Right. That's very, I think, very encouraging to hear from you, and also Mr. Shin. I think in the last 10 years, ease of doing business has eased. So I think the whole process has become easier and better. But thank you, and very happy to know that you've had a nice journey, and I'm sure this journey would also have more success in the future. Thank you. So coming to Mr. Patil now, I think supplier and customer, always the relationship has to be good. If the customer has to succeed, the supplier has to be a part of the success story. And that's what we'd like to understand from you. How do you assess the readiness of the tool makers to meet the demands and specifications, especially when we are talking about global operations? Because here we are talking about a different quality aspect plays certainly an important role.
Hi. Thank you, sir, first of all. And I take this opportunity to thank TAGMA and ITS, a platform to share each other's viewpoints as well as our expectations also. And I take the opportunity of Rajesh. Small correction, that is not the suppliers and customer relationship. I think we can call as a business partners. Right. Okay? Without you, we cannot be here. Okay? And most of the things are, you may be aware, in each vehicle more than 20,000 parts are made. Cannot be made everything by ourselves. And to make that one, tool and dies are very, very important. I think you are the most important and prestigious partner with us. So collectively we can able to support our customers. That is the tagline which I wanted to say. And most of the things is Mr. Kulkarni has already touched upon. I will try to touch upon from the four-wheeler OEM point of view. So Toyota, you may be aware, I have worked for Toyota. Last year we could able to sell more than 10.4 million vehicles globally. And I think in India also we could able to do some significant business. So our order of priority, we work on four-pillar activity, that is safety, quality, delivery, and cost. The same thing we inculcate to our partners also. Okay? If you are interested, I will put a little touch upon this one. That may be helpful for you, if you allow me, sir.
Please.
Yeah. In the areas of safety and cleanliness, you may be aware that how the tool rooms are works. I think keeping that good condition, it will enhance your productivity. Many of the tool makers, they will be finding some of the critical part missing somewhere, or somewhere they kept not in standard places. The productivity is also not appropriate if you don't maintain the cleanness. I request, please take care of that one, all the tool makers. Inculcate in the day-to-day life. And in the areas of quality, sir. So our product quality depends on you. Okay. So how the Toyota vehicles are there, that is not because of my contribution. This is all because of your every contribution. For this, I request a big applause for this. Currently, what is happening in this one, I think maybe with the TAGMA support, we could able to enhance our localization of the tools. Earlier, we depended most of the global operations only. We used to buy the tools from other countries, especially Korea, then China, maybe Japan, critical part. But we took a challenge that a lot of opportunities are available, capability is available. Earlier, our friend mentioned about this one. They are the partner for the Chandrayaan-3. That is the level we have reached. I think we took as an opportunity to do this one. We learned a lot of things on this one. We could able to enhance our localization content also. But in quality area, what I request is, please do the quality of the product of your tools in the final stage like polishing, then final tryouts, where even though the parts are tools or jigs are as per the drawing, but sometimes it doesn't meet to the expectation of the customers. I request your cooperation. Third one is about the delivery. So you know where we stand. I think Mr. Shin may be able to the right person to touch. I think globally, a lot of challenges are happening to challenge their own delivery time. Best of our knowledge we have is we work around 14 to 16 weeks. But in India, we are having around 28 weeks. Any one tool, if it is get delayed, entire project will be at question mark. I think that is the area where we have to work. Last point is the cost, which is more important. And today is a very auspicious day for the cost to speak also. Okay. So some of the tools are not very competitive, not because of your capability, because a lot of you have dependent on the raw material from other country you have to import. Some of the tools, a lot of bought out items you have to buy it from other country. That may bring little pressure to you. I think not only with the OEMs, if you can work with your supplier partners, for example, the part and component makers for your tools and dies, I think that may able to enhance your cost competitiveness. I think in overall, in nutshell, this is the order of priority what I request and recommend for all the Indian tool makers and even the global tool makers also. Finally, this is the last word I want to say. To do this one, a good human resource platform is required. Our Sudarshan San is there here. He can able to train members, give enough training, believe on your members' confidence that the final stages of the tryouts, I request everybody's kind cooperation. This is all about my expectation on this, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the valid points, I think. Yes. And I think this gives a good setup now for Mr. Sudarshan. Mr. Sudarshan, in a marriage, there are many stakeholders. Even in manufacturing, there are many stakeholders. And as a training institute, you play an important role. But it's also a difficult role because you have to meet the aspirations of the OEMs, of the tool makers, suppliers. So how do you collaborate as an institute? How do you collaborate with these different stakeholders so that, because the ultimate aim, friends, is that the graduates who come from the institute, they should be ready for the industry.
Yeah, thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. As you know, NTTF tool makers are around the globe, so they have made already an international footprint. And there was a time when an NTTF graduate, simply graduate with his certificate, he lands in Australian airports. The employers are ready to receive them. 2 to 3 offers on the airport, they will get it. So that was the situation. But now also we have tool makers in high demand, at least 3-4 offers on the hand every time they get when they pass out. In fact, here also there are a lot of NTTF tool makers. Can you raise the hands if you are an NTTF tool maker? See, there are many NTTF tool makers here as well. Yes. And yesterday also I saw. So, NTTF has been doing for last 60 years, continuously striving to keep up pace with the industry requirements. See, number one, NTTF has kept pace with the industry and invested in required infrastructure. What is there in the industry, it is available in NTTF. For example, if I know, I was not there in NTTF at that time, the India's first wire cut machine was at NTTF. Okay, that was Shami, I think it is called. So it was at NTTF. So we believe in training the students at the required machineries and infrastructure. A tool maker who joins NTTF starts with the filing first, so that we want them to feel the metal, and then they graduate to conventional machining, and then to CNC machining, and then to the latest 3D printing and other things, technologies as well. So we train them on all the processes like subtractive manufacturing, formative and additive manufacturing. And all the students are provided with the laptops today, but NTTF started much before pandemic in 2002 or 2010 itself, giving the tabs. So they were digitally acclimatized already, so they are ready for the industry for the change in scenario. Okay? And also we take the industry projects, so that it's not just we teach them a tool making as an exercise. We make the industry projects so that we deliver to the industry, so that our students learn what's happening latest in the industry. Oh, so these are some things we collaborate with the industry. Of course, for the internship as well, we collaborate, and the campus recruitment happens. So, Rajesh, we believe in 3 C's, our MD always says, collaborate, cooperate, and then compete. That is the world today. So I'll come back with later. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think a round of applause for NTTF for the yeoman service the NTTF has been doing for the tool makers. Yes. Mr. Shin, let's come to you now. We know Korea is known for its technological advancement in tool making. Now, we have a lot of aspirants even here in the participants who are looking to reach to the global market. What would be your suggestion or tips, Mr. Shin, to the Indian tool makers who are maybe looking to serve global customers? So if 1 or 2 tips you could give. I think you'll need the mic. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I'm Korean. Okay. I'm not representations for Korean tool makers. Okay. I'm just operating small tool rooms. Also, it's especially die casting tools, gravity die casting, low pressure, high pressure die casting tools we are supplying to the customers. And then just I want to tell my experience here in India. Most of my customers, already I told you, Indian casters. Also remaining 30% customers are Korean-based, Hyundai Motors, Kia Motors, Mobis, under the Taiwan, Taitu casters. My understanding, tooling industries, my customers, daily they are developing with software powers, facilities, systems, using these EMS solutions, so using the systems, but my tool rooms or other tool rooms not following their systems as that much. So sometimes we have a very different, we have a get different result. Customer given us 60 days time for mold developing with some cost, but I cannot follow that systems because of the we don't ready to make standardizations, localization. Also, sometimes we cannot get special process getting in here, India. So I want to tell two things first. Anyhow, mold companies, most of mold company in Korea working more less than 50% persons, and then their company depends on the persons, means the core persons, skilled persons. Company teaches them minimum 3 to 5 years or 10 years by the job object trainings. I found many issues. Companies teaching the people's minimum 3 to 5 years, but after that, they trained very well. They are jumping to the other OEMs or other companies. So I saw many times, also I very much disappointed in these situations, but now I'm understanding that this is Indian corporate cultures. So I discussed with my president, sir, we need Koreans more in here, India. Please bring me the expert, 2%, 3%, 4%. But we couldn't cover their cost. So we developed ourselves object training programs, manuals, teaching manuals, systematics, and then supporting by this expert, we called them timely from the Korea to here, teaching them mold manufacturing, not only mold designing, mold manufacturing, matching, final touch-up, also proving skills. Also we teach them one by one. So this is my journeys to developing here in India, Hyun. So one thing is that most important thing is the human resource also, especially skilled person. This kind of key persons to be fulfills to your companies the continuous. So I want to tell this one thing. And then one more thing, this is very important things. I'm thinking that rapid response to customers. This mold business is very, very emergency. So sometimes we meet very emergency situations, not only day and night. And then many companies request to us not only mold making, mold servicing also. It rapidly. So I recommend you please prepare your mold contact persons immediately. Also, rapid supporting isn't necessary. I want to say this. I'm sorry.
I think we got some good points from you, Mr. Shin.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned quite a few good points and tips. So,
okay.
Yeah?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. Mr. Patil, taking what Mr. Shin also mentioned, taking it a little further. Now, we are talking about Make in India. We want to go global, local for global also we are talking. So there will always be a comparison we have to take, Mr. Patil, Indian toolmaker versus an overseas toolmaker. Now, from your experience, how would you rate the two? It's a difficult question, but I think it will be in the interest of all the toolmakers also. How do we rate Indian toolmakers versus overseas toolmakers? And after all, ye dil mange more. So how can we improve?
Yeah, I think, thank you, Rajesh. I think a little difficult question, but I try to help you out, my understanding on this. Already I mentioned, without you we cannot be. This is the first integral part we have to understand. and who we are in developing country. Okay. My experience with other OEMs, other tool makers overseas as well as in India, because in any project, tooling costs around 25 to 30% based on the vehicle to vehicle or spec to spec. That means there is a significant opportunity to optimize the cost and the delivery. That can be done only through the local tool makers only. Because the global will have their own challenges. One of the biggest challenges is the logistics. Tools are heavy and bulky, it is not small things. We have to come through the sea only. Ship has got its own speed. These all the things are there. In spite of this one, so we took a opportunity to, from Krista, Toyota Krista, where we had only 35% of our localization, tooling localization. Because we also have had that no much connect with the TAGMA. Sorry to say this one. But later since in 2018, we could took as an opportunity that let's explore the India. Because many things are happening here. Even though developing country, there many things are happening. Let's connect with them. So I think in 2018, in the month of December or something, TAGMA has arranged in TKM, Toyota Kirloskar motor. Most of the designers and our purchase engineering people, all the engineers were there, then they could able to understand that we could able to develop our own mechanism also that the prioritizing. Many people we visited to the tool rooms, even personally I visited few of the tool rooms. I think after seeing this one, what is the change point I could able to narrow down into 3 points. First is the project management. Project management, what it is in global operations and local operations, some challenges are there because we are a developing country. Our setups of tool rooms are not integrated. We have dependent on others. Raw material we dependent, sub-assembly we have dependent, then the etching process, we are all dependent on the other. So there is the one area where the project management comes into picture. So we have to, opportunities are available to level up. Okay, that is the one point. Second one is the delivery point of view. As mentioned, the OEMs demand shorter lead time. Not only OEMs, any customer demands shorter lead time. Unfortunate to say this one, Innova high cross waiting period is 25 months, sir. Sorry, if any person have booked. Okay? So this is the reality. So this is a developing country, sir. We cannot. No? So in this process, communication plays a vital role. How we can communicate to the business partners, OEMs or the supplier, this one. That is more important. I think one is the project management, second one is the delivery, and third one is finally comes to our Sudarshan son, only the finally prove out of the parts, even though the tools are ready, unable to make it happen. So these are some of the challenges, but we could able to overcome. And we could able to make our, from Krista to a high cross, we have enhanced our, the localization of the tooling from 75% to 83%, sir. This is one of the remarkable achievements with your support. So we want to be with you all, okay? Not only in this kind of ITS, this is a good opportunity. Let's connect each other, let's communicate each other, understand the expectation of the OEMs, what the others are happening outside. We are all speaking about the old technology also, sir. Now, things are moving far ahead. Last month I was in Japan. They could able to produce the stamping part, 1,400 MPa, the stamping could able to do it. So that is the things are moving ahead. I think you can connect locally, globally. OEMs are the better persons because they will be connected with the other things. One of the person is the Kulkarni son is there. In the meantime, you can discuss with him. They will give a lot of things. Things are coming up to 0.2 mm thickness, steel sheet stamping is happening. That is the proposal now. Things are going for because of the EV commodities. Thinner is the better, lighter is the better. That is the concept it is now. I think let's connect. That is all about I can say. This is the difference which I could able to understand. I worked with most of the OEMs, tool makers. Especially I felt comfortable. Shin son, worked with Korean people, no second thought only. And FTA is also available. Enjoying, I think you are all. Okay. And Japanese are much better, sir. Honestly, my experience, because I have not connected with much on European and other things. This is my nutshell. Let's enhance the communication. Let's enhance our project management. Finally, keep the base of this on human resource development. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Patil. Mr. Kulkarni, Mr. Patil mentioned a few very important points. What I would like to ask you is, we are seeing whole production processes are changing, things are becoming more complex, we are talking about automation, we are talking about digitalization. Now, what would be 2 or 3 basic criteria for selection of a tool maker? If you are looking at what would be the 3 basic criteria?
Yeah, so it's a very important question that we should ask all ourselves. So I'll start with just mentioning that while we identify any tool maker or any product supplier or a service provider, the primary characteristics will always remain same. But what is important is that you have to have a vendor-partner relationship, because not everybody is going to be at the same platform, in spite of having a similar profile or a similar selection criteria. But the main topic is to elevate everybody at the same level, so that they are they're the sum of averages, and then everybody can perform and deliver at the same speed and the same accuracy and the same responsiveness which is there. So we believe in that. So the primary characteristics will always remain same. What is their current capability? What is their ability to adapt? Because ability to adapt to newer things is something which is extremely important. Your speed and agility is critical over here. Then is there a capability or a capacity for them and their intent to invest in certain newer areas or additional capacities for that matter. The third thing which is very important is that the management of the organization should be very keen to participate in all the initiatives which are driven by the OEs. Why that is important is because it is always going to be a journey from A position to a B position, right? So nothing is going to be remaining standstill, or it cannot be at the same platform year over year. So there has to be a transformation journey. We have to adapt to newer things. So these are all the things which are very important. So once this is seen from the vendor partners, then they join, and then we have our own initiatives in order to elevate, as I told you, about the capacity and capabilities, so that they can perform a lot at the same level. Now, just taking the point ahead of what Mr. Patil was mentioning, their localization is really improved. We've seen all of these journey together, because I've been in the industry for a pretty decent amount of time. We worked with Korean tool makers right since the age 2003 or 4. I think Glotech was one of the first who came to India along with LG. They came to Pune and they got all their tool makers. So we started working with them, and I can really very proudly say that in last 15 years or so, we have not imported a single tool in plastic injection. We have all the capacity, we've got all the capability, and a lot of collaborative work which has happened. I was mentioning to Paresh Bhai also that the Vasai area in Bombay is the new Bombay Talkies. So it's the hub of actual manufacturing, and for no reason any single tool should be rejected because it cannot be made in a certain period of time or a certain cost or quality requirement. So that is the collaboration which is required. And I've already mentioned that our products are reaching globally everywhere. So all our tool makers have lived up to the expectations in terms of quality, in terms of the cost, and the responsiveness, because our time to market is not very elaborate what Mr. Patil would so we have got maybe 9 months from concept to market. So it's very important for all of them, and they have all rallied up to us, and they've never let us fail in any of our projects till now. So that's the kind of support that we've received from all our tool makers, and I expect that, it continues and grows further.
Absolutely. Sudarshan, last and best question for you for today. Sudarshan, I think one of the challenges we are facing is the younger generation is driven much, nobody wants to dirty their hands. They want to rather go into the IT field. So as an institute, Sudarshan, how do you motivate the youngsters in this line, in this field, so that they stick to the engineering sector also?
Okay, this is an out-of-box question you asked me. It was not discussed, but anyway, I try to answer. Okay, see, taking the clue from whatever Patil and Kulkarni has said, see, technological advancement is one thing we should keep note of it. For example, I wanted to tell, I don't know, somebody might have mentioned it yesterday, for example, this Tesla has come out with gigapress and 60 welded parts replaced by a single large die casting thing. So this is one of the biggest innovation. Why I'm mentioning this is, apart from technological skills, one need to have a lot of other skills. So World Economic Forum has recently released, you might have read it, Rajesh. They mentioned 4 or 5 other core skills. One is creative and analytical thinking, and the other one is social influence, and the other one is the resilience, agility, and flexibility. These 3 are the major important things, which NTTF, in a way, infuses into them apart from having a technical skills. Okay, we have a strong, called as a rope-in program, wherein the social skills are influenced in them. Okay, and then every day, one student will have a shop talk. That means he has to face the audience and talk of any other subject of his choice. Okay, that induces a confidence in him. So example I want to quote is, in Pune, Kulkarni, we have about 300 entrepreneurs in Pune. So they have their own industries. So in one of the alumni meet, our MD, Dr. Reguraj, asked them, these are the things we didn't teach you. How did you were able to do it? So the one word answer was that NTTF induced confidence in them. So that I call as a social influence, which before World Economic Forum could reiterate, we were already in practice. So these are some of the things, apart from technical skills, we induce in the NTTF student that they will take it forward. I think it answers.
Very good. I think very important, and compliments to NTTF for inculcating this level of confidence. Friends, with that, I think we would have to conclude our panel discussion, and I would like to conclude with a quote from the great visionary, Mr. Abdul Kalam. He said, "If you fail, never give up, because fail means first attempt in learning, FAIL." So I think what is important is that failure is just the step. It's a difficult step, no doubt, but it should motivate you to do more and reach more and attain more. So thank you very much, and a round of applause for our panelists. Thank you.